Well, greetings and welcome, my League of Eagles. It's Wednesday, so it's Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. A little quick note before we begin this beautiful session that we're going to have today with my featured guest speaker. We'll be taking another hiatus for the month of February, but we'll be back in March with another lineup. But let me tell you that because it's Wednesday, we gather here every episode of Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, because we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And what a gift it is for me to be connected with you today. I am Joy Ruffin, your minister of enlightenment, awareness, and awakenings. And I love the awakenings part. We're going to be talking about that today. And as your signature style specialist, what is the theme this month? Well, it's Let Your Light Take Center Stage. It's a gentle yet powerful return to presence, clarity, and the courage to be fully seen. That's what we're going to be talking about today. What is the topic today? Well, it's all about authenticity. And our featured guest speaker, it seems like this month of January, we're starting off with a lot of doctors because I love doctors and nurses and all of these people who help us to keep going. Our featured guest speaker is Dr. Norma Hollis. And get this, my Eagles, she is known as the Godmother of Authenticity, a transformational artist in human development. What could be better than that? Helping leaders and organizations translate authenticity into practical leadership capabilities. It's for the culture alignment, helping to support sustainable performances. So you know what I ask you to do each and every week. Sit back, relax, enjoy, gather whatever makes you comfortable. A glass of water, a cup of coffee, tea, a cocktail maybe, and let us begin. And help me greet and welcome our featured guest speaker, Dr. Norma Hollis. As they say on the telly, come on up and welcome.
What a great, enthusiastic intro, Miss Joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my love. That's my DNA. Some people tell me I'm a little over enthusiastic, but I don't think you can be too much. I'm honored that you're here today because I know a little bit of your personal that you share with me. So I'm happy that you're here because I was so excited to meet and greet with you. So tell us a little bit about how you came to be the Godmother of Authenticity. I love that title.
Thank you. Well, you know, my journey to authenticity started when I was as young as 28 years old.
Woo-hoo.
And I realized that I had become my parents' version of who they thought a Black woman should be in America. And it wasn't who I was. But I didn't know that at the time. I had the husband, the cars, the house, the good job, money in the bank, and I was miserable. And I just dropped out and figured, you know, well, I wonder, what does it mean to be human on this planet? And so that's when I started figuring out what it meant and then creating my own authenticity. I didn't know it would take 30 years of research into human nature from personal, professional, and spiritual perspectives. And then 12 years of figuring out, so what did I create? What is this? What have I learned? So it was just a natural progression of journey. I didn't choose authenticity, it chose me.
I love that. I love that. And you know why we're aligned here for me and for many others who will tune in and listen to this broadcast is because I had the same somewhat inner urge to explore and grow and expand. I've always had that. And I've always thought global because I knew this human experience was much more than what I was surrounded by. So I loved your explanation about that. When it comes to authenticity, how do you help people become more authentic? And certainly speakers, coaches, and consultants and trainers, how do you teach them to get to their own so that they can own their power? I'm all about power, but yes, humble power.
As powerful as you are, it's not surprised that you'd be about power.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
But it's really helping people come back to themselves. My first degree is in early childhood. So I spent my first years working with preschool children. And I was directing programs, and it was always exciting to me to watch kids, you know, just look at who I am. I can sing, I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah.
Then they go home to their mommies and they want to sing. And mommy says, no, yeah, you know, we'll just wait for later when I finish cooking because I got too much to do right now to listen to you. And that's when we start to lose our authenticity because if mommy doesn't want to hear us, you know, and then that happens also in kindergarten and first grade. Sit in your line, sit in your chairs, raise your hand to go to the bathroom. When preschool is go whenever you want to go. And what I found when I had a speaker bureau, for about a dozen years.
Yes.
People would come to me and say, Norma, can you help me find myself? I've been in the work environment, the corporate America, wherever, for 2 or 3 decades, and I've lost myself. How do I find myself again? So that continuum, what happens from the preschool children who are their authentic selves happily to the experience that go on to they're still in cubicles, not in their chairs, but still in cubicles in the work environment. And so I did the research of what happens in between. I wrote a poem called The Masquerade, and I asked, how did we get parade, this
Good
parade of people playing people, this charade of life's reality? Because we lose what we know as our own reality as we articulate into the reality that society feeds us.
Ah, Norma, I love that explanation. Let me tell you why. Because I know now, I didn't know it back then, back in the day, preschool kids and how we quell that innate something that they're searching and that's innate within them.
Yes.
And the mom is too busy cooking or cleaning and the dad is working and whatever it might be. But what we know for sure now is that those parents who nurture what they see and feel is a natural gift or talent within that child, he or she is able to develop it and bring it into a skill that's unmatched by anyone else. So I love that explanation. Why do you think our belief in being authentic has been quelled somewhat, even though that word authentic was buzzword back in 23, 22, 23, and now it's used everywhere? What's happened? Why do you think that's current now?
Well, the word authentic or authenticity would not be so popular if the opposite was not always true.
Woo-hoo.
Now, we go back to remember when artificial grass started. I mean, when that started many years ago. And now it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake. Even on social media, when you meet people, you know, it's kind of everywhere. So a lot of it has come from and there being so many people in the world, the population growth has just accelerated exponentially.
Oh my.
So people don't feel seen. And so they end up making up who they are or who they want to be based on what they think society expects of them, as opposed to going deep inside and really seeing who you are. You know, even the way we raise children, we ask children, what do you want to be when you grow up? Not who do you want to be? And so we focus more on the what rather than the who. Authenticity is about the who.
Oh my God. Norma, hold on a second. Roz, so good to see you here. Welcome. This is one of my friends I've known for years. She's in Australia. But Roz, Norma, what you said, the difference between feel and being seen and real and fake, because we don't know the difference. So how do you instill or attempt to embody in others what they need to get to their authentic selves? I mean, you're not going to give us all the jewels, but where does one begin?
One begins by incorporating times to rest and reflect. Reflect and assess. Reflect and assess. We just keep going through the motion, going through the motions, going through the motions. And life gets busier and busier. We're following what they tell us we're supposed to be doing, trying to keep up, trying to be whatever, rather than being who we are and just slowing down. But just trying to keep up with what the Joneses, with what society says, and with all the crazies going on in the world right now, you don't really want to keep up because it's so fear-based that you spend more time trying to adjust from the fear than you do trying to be yourself. I actually stopped watching TV. I recently moved across country and I didn't even turn my TV on for 2 months. And I still don't even watch the news because I'm asking myself, why should I hear all the fear and then spend the next hours of my day trying to combat the fear, because I don't want to go to sleep with fear, because what you think becomes your reality. So recognizing that, and every day now I tell myself, it's going to be a great day. And it is, because if you tell yourself it's going to be great, it is. If you tell yourself it's going to be messed up, it is. So
I love that. And you know what? I'm chuckling away because so much of what you're saying is true. This fear-based whatever that we're all about. And I'm just coming to what you said, your thoughts and what you think about and how you perceive and even think to the future and today, paramount in what you feel and what comes through. But Norma, let's speak a little bit about, before we take a break here, because I see so much fakery out here, especially among us women in different realms. Bless your heart, Roz. It's so good to have you here. Well, one of the things that I want you to clarify for us, and you said it, and I didn't quite get it, the difference between the reality of us and now and ourselves, and the fakery that you see. Like with many of us, 500 pairs, I'm exaggerating, make a point, eyelashes and all the other stuff that comes with it. What happened to us? What is the difference between the real and the fake? And why is that so prevalent now?
It's prevalent now because humanity is under attack in many ways. And, there's so many robots coming on. I mean, I just heard there were 16,000 Amazon jobs are being laid off right now. So, and replaced with robots. So, the competition is just really unreal. So, authenticity becomes more important as we lose who we are. We're losing what we believe. As a matter of fact, about 10 years ago, as I was developing my program, one of the things I read is that we're going to soon need coaches and consultants who help people understand what it means to be human.
Yes. Oh.
You imagine that? And you can see that now. You see that right now. Yes.
I can. Unbelievable. I all that you just said, to get back to the being human, because so much is so fabricated today. And that is based on that fear factor. And then you said, we all want to. I haven't met anybody on the planet, I don't care how shy and reserved they might be, who does not want to be seen, heard, and valued. But how do you want to be seen, heard, and valued? How do you, when you're working with the clients that you have, I know this is a multifaceted question, Norma, but I know you can answer it. What are some of the beginning results that you give them so they can begin to see and want more of working with you?
Well, when I first started working with authenticity, it was to work with speakers. I was the first Black woman to own a speaker bureau for Black speakers.
Bravo.
And in that process, thank you. In that process, I learned how people lose themselves by the mask that they're wearing. So what a lot of the speakers would tell me, I have one lady who does this testimonial. She says, the main thing you did in my speaking is somehow you healed me from my pain with my mother. And so, that's a part of it, because what I learned when I had my bureau is the speakers who were the most powerful were the ones who were authentic. So what my work does is help you break away from the masks that you have had to wear since you were a preschooler and you weren't exactly accepted for who you are. And so to validate yourself and not worry about other people validating you. And part of that is giving you a format to reflect and assess, to look at your life in different ways, and therefore get a brand new view of who you are and a brand new way of respecting and accepting yourself. And then that shifts you from who you have been to remember who you can be, to move you to being that person authentically.
Oh, Norma. You speak my truth. You speak my beliefs and my honor and integrity of being a human on this planet. And Roz is agreeing. She says, so true, what we think will be. So many of us, most of us, we have to go back. We're invited to go back to the essence and the beginning of who we really want to be, who we desire to be. The heart connected. I think that's great. Yes, indeed. That said, let's take a quick little reset here. And I want to come back. And I want to come back to, you said to me, how do you achieve? You spoke to it in many different ways, Norma, but I want more depth on it. How do we achieve our authentic selves, the authenticity of ourselves? So hold tight. I'm going to slip you in the green room and I'll be right back with you. Roz, it's so good to have you here. If you're not familiar with us by now, you will be, because you are eagles. You're the new examples. You're the women of tomorrow. And that's exactly what Dr. Norma Hollis is talking about and sharing with us today. I have a group. It's called Leading Ladies, Leading Legacies. You belong there because it's all about your vision. Roz is there. Norma is there, and so many others. We started with, I think, about 36, 39, and now we're almost up to 800. And I want to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. I'm about numbers, but when they're honest numbers, because your vision, your mission, and your purpose matters. And remember, you are eagles. You're not mailing into the melting pot. You are making the pot thrive and bubble with honesty, truth, love, and beauty. So join us there. Make a screenshot, take a snapshot, and join us there. And then I have 3 brand new packages for you. The Style Rebirth, for those who are beginning and not kind of sure and want more depth. The Style Mastery Experience, 5 weeks. It's both of these are digital, but The divine reinvention is one-on-one with me. And what I will do is guide you to where you want to be, which is what Dr. Norma Hollis is talking about today. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What do you want to share? And how do you want to show up? Not like the runway, not like the red carpet, but you in the best way that represents the integrity, honesty, and all of that good stuff of you. And then I want you to take a snapshot. Oh, do take a snapshot, a screenshot of this graphic. Dr. Norma Hollis. Discover the value of your authenticity. And she gives you instructions on how to do that and her website. So connect with her there, because if I can tell, I don't brown nose, I don't sugarcoat, candy coat, and all that stuff. When I bring the men and women that I bring to you here on the broadcast that we do, I have vetted them, and they are full of integrity, honesty, and the clarity and beauty of themselves, owning it. And so your assignment is to connect with her here. Now, back to you. How do we, you mentioned it, but I want you to give us more depth. How do you get, I know it's different. It's different for everyone. The differences is what makes us unique and special, the individualization of us. But where do you get to, what do you find when you work with the people? I think you gave us one example earlier, Norma, but how do you get people, and when people come to you, what is the number one thing they're asking for? You gave us an example, but what is it that we seek, all of us in different ways?
We seek clarity about our purpose. Why are we here on the planet? Whether we ask it directly or whether it's just smoldering within us and we don't even understand what's going on. But all of us, I truly believe everyone's here for a purpose. It's what I call part of God's jigsaw puzzle. And if you're not putting your puzzle piece in the right place and you're off on some other journey of inauthenticity, then it's going to come back and remind you. Many times it knocks from the inside trying to get out. And you wonder, what is this thing gnawing at me? And it's just your authentic self trying to get out and express itself, because you've ended up getting in what I call the rut of the JOB, which means jumping out of bed or just over broke. Okay. and that's a route most people take at some point in their life, but some people get stuck in it and don't know how to get out of it. But rather than spend your life fulfilling someone else's dream, what happened to your dream? And going back to your dream. Yeah.
And probably it was quelled in those younger beginning stages of life. And some of us can admit it and some of us can't. I know mine was. But you gave us the clarity of our purpose. And Norma, I'm going to align with that and tell me if it fits. Most of us are here. You are, I am, and so many other people that I know, to make a difference.
Yes.
A substantial difference that will impact the world in a positive way.
Right.
Would you align those two together?
Absolutely. I think most of us, if not all of us, were sent here for that, because young children, babies, they are all right-brained at first, which is creative, and they're very creative. Their creativity comes out. Then along the way, they have to get in the linear world of the left brain. They have to learn the words and learn the numbers, which of course is required. But sometimes there's so much emphasis on that the creativity gets lost. And when the creativity is lost, because we're all creative by our first nature, then we lose our own authenticity. And it just continues to disappear as we put more layers on, as we add more fear to it, as we be what other people say we're supposed to be, and we are not being our true selves.
I love the way you string your words together, because I completely agree. And I don't always agree with everything. But let me say that what you just said to me, I've often said that the magic and the miracle and the Holy Grail is within us. Our assignment is to discover it,
yes,
to build on it, to excel at it, and to make it a skill and a gift that we can share with others who need it, because we all come with different gifts. And even if you're in the same ballpark playing the same game, you do it in a different way, your style, your delivery, and all of that. You have this grid in the back of you.
Yes.
And I love it. So I don't know if you want to turn around or whatever, but can you give us like the lineup starting with the red, the orange, and the white, and then tell us and explain to us a little bit about what that is, that grid, and how we can begin to incorporate it into our lives?
Well, I'm going to be very brief because it is a long discussion if I'm going to really get into it.
Okay, just brief.
When I was 28 and I realized I was dissecting myself, what I found is I had three voices in me. I had an inner voice, you see there. You have an outer voice on top of me and an expressive voice. Inner voice, no one hears but me. Outer voice, how people perceive me when I step out in the world. Expressive voice, what I do day to day and how I live my life. And then I have three dynamics: think, communicate, and do. They're on the side there. I'm either thinking or communicating or doing, or some combination of that. And that's all of us. And then I went through and I found 9 energies within myself. And I turned them into the grid that you see behind me. Then I spent the 30 years understanding what I had put together and what was channeled through me. So one of the things that I've learned that I want to give a tip to your audience is that authenticity begins in the inner voice. That's where this authenticity grid starts. And I'm going to tell you how you can learn more about the grid in a few minutes.
Okay.
But authenticity begins in the inner voice with intuition. And the tip that I want to give your audience is how to increase your ability to be intuitive. And that is, there are 3 things you say to yourself every single day. You ask yourself, when you wake up, what time is it? And then what am I going to wear? And then what am I going to eat? Which you always ask several times a day generally. And what you'd want to do is you want to look at how does the answer come to you. Usually it's through one of your 6 senses. You see it as a vision, you hear it, you feel it, you touch it, you taste it, or you get it in your gut. And when you start to recognize how the answer comes to you, you get more clear about how your energy, your inner voice, your spirit speaks to you. And then you can get more attuned to that, because the real key to stepping into your authenticity is trusting, recognizing that voice, trusting it, knowing how to have a conversation with it and be in partnership with that voice throughout your life, because it is there to remind you of why you are here and to give you the guidance and the direction to allow your life to unfold in the way that the gifts and talents indicate it should. And so in society, work does a lot to move us away from our gifts and talents and toward them. So you can just adjust your life and the life of your children and grandchildren by helping to move them closer to the natural gifts and talents. And if you want to learn more about that, you can look for the work of Dr. Howard Gardner, or to my own work with authenticity that will take you more into that information.
Wow. That was a lot, but very clearly expressed. You do have clarity, is in your DNA for sure. Let me ask you one thing though, because I'm all about voices in a different way, but I know how important they are. You gave us the 3 voices. Let me see if I heard you. You said the internal voice?
The inner voice, yes.
The inner voice, the outer voice?
Yes.
And the expressive voice?
Correct.
And that's part of everyone's voice.
Yes. But what seems to get squelched mostly is the expressive voice, which is based on our gifts and talents. And because if we have our gifts and talents, then we're unicorns. And we're not following the control system that has been set up for it. If we're grazing ourselves by our gifts and talents, by the gifts that God gave us, maybe a visual gift, maybe a running gift, whatever it is, then we're not in the factory, making more money for the oligarchs and for those that, are trying to control the world. And we're trying to control our own world. When you're authentic, you get to control your own world. You get to make your own decisions, not just the decisions based on what society wants you to do. You can see the difference. And the difference makes a difference in your level of joy, your level of self-respect, your level of self-management. This is what this tool, this authenticity grid does once you understand it and get into it. It's a tool for self-management, for life management. And it's a tool that helps you get answers when you get confused and questionable about what's really right for me right now. And we make over 35,000 decisions every single day. And this grid gives you more clarity of who you are, so you make decisions a lot faster.
I love that. I tell you, your explanations, there's so much. I love learning. That's part of my DNA and my insatiable curiosity. And you just lit me up in so many different ways. What I want to end here with is what you said to me. And this I find amusing because I work in 3s and 5s, my own kind of internal guidance, whatever. But you said there are 3 things we should consider each and every day as we begin our day. What time is it? What am I going to wear? And what am I going to eat? I've never heard it expressed like that.
But these are things we ask ourselves. People say, I don't talk to myself. Well, yes, you do. You don't go outside naked, do you?
No, some do.
Well, you're right. There are exceptions to every rule, yes.
I like that though, because when it comes to the bottom line and the basis and the foundation, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
What time is it? What day is it? And, the day and the time. And then how am I going to dress today? What am I doing? And what's in the cabinet? What am I going to eat? And then that begins your day, right?
And the question is, how do you answer yourself? How do you hear yourself?
Yes.
Realize that, then you can continue the conversation.
I don't know where the time goes here, but it really flies. You've given all of us so many pearls of wisdom to think about, and to, I like the words and the sentence food for thought. There's
Yes.
plenty of it here. But even though you spoke to this in different ways, we're winding up now, and don't rush. Give us whatever it means. What's the best way to take the next steps to connect with you? And in doing so, you've already shared with us, but do it again in a way that entices people to want to connect with you. What would that be? What's the best way to take the next step to connect with you? And
Well,
why?
I would love to invite you to go to authenticityu.com, authenticityu.com.
Uh-huh.
There I have put together a class that it's 5 lessons, and they're complimentary, no charge, to help you understand more about what authenticity is and why it's so important. So the first 4 classes are giving you information and a lot of exercises to get closer to yourself. And the next class talks about the authenticity grid that's behind me, and it explains to you what the grid is all about. Now, once you finish class 5, then you get an invitation to take a year-long membership program that's going to take you deeper into you in each of these 9 dimensions of authenticity, starting with intuition. And in addition, we have boot camps regularly. You're going to get an invitation to that, to be my guest at one of our boot camps to learn even more. So if you've been in, if you have, this resonates with you and it's piqued your interest at all about your own authenticity, and the things that I've said have made you question and really look a little deeper about yourselves, then your inner self is knocking from the inside, asking you to learn more about you. And I'm the remedy for that. As the Godmother of Authenticity, I invite you to take the complimentary class at authenticityu.com. And I'll see you at one of our classes, because we also have some free classes where you can, we come together as a community. So it'll open your eyes, it'll open your consciousness, it'll raise your frequency to what you're all about in ways maybe you've never even thought about before. And you will grow and find more joy.
Exactly. And you will thrive. You know, Dr. Norma Hollis, let me just say that without no brown nosing or sugarcoating, but you are doing work that is so needed. I'm doing it too in a different way. And
Right.
that's where there is the alignment here, because know thyself, however you want to phrase it, or whatever, however you want to level it out in your life, it's paramount, especially today. I use the word awakening. It's time for our honest, true awakening, to go back to those preschool, listen to that inner voice that's telling us what we need or best for us to do, and then begin to grow and excel and learn about that. Now, it's over. I can't believe it. The time. What food for thought? What words of wisdom? What takeaway? And I'm going to ask my engineer to put up your graphic. What do you want? What is the one thing or 2 or 3, whatever, however you want to do it, that you want to leave us with? What do you want the takeaway to be?
Well, it's 2 things. It's the one I already told you about, thinking about how you answer yourself when you ask these questions.
Yes, I like that.
And the second one I also mentioned, and that's to take time and to, reflect and assess. Whether it's every day, whether it's once a month, whether it's in the shower, whether it's on your drive home from work. Don't just turn the music on and see what other people are doing or whatever, but take some time to go inside of you and get to understand you better, and then begin to ask yourself how much of you and how you're living your life is because of what you want to do, or because someone else said you should do it. Go to authenticityu.com and you'll see that's a website, and there's lots of places where you can join for free, and you'll be able to get those 5 classes. That will take you on another journey of going deeper into you. And you know something? You might just find something inside that you really, really like, and it might just change your life. I invite you to do that, because it's all about transforming to the artist you are intended to be. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Dr. Norma Hollis. It's been my honor and my pleasure to share this time and space with you. My engineer is going to scoot you in the green room. I'll see you again and soon. Thank you from my heart to yours.
Thank you. God bless you.
Oh, my goodness gracious. My Eagles, you know, I label you my Eagles because we are the new examples, not the new normal. There's no new normal. Normal is normal. We are the new examples. We are the women of tomorrow. So thank you for sharing this moment with me and our featured guest speaker. I honor your presence, your energy, and your openness to grow, which is what we've been talking about here today. And here's what I leave you with. Empowerment without liberation is complete. That's what Dr. Norma Hollis spoke to a great deal today. As we let go of old conditioning, space is created for true empowerment to take place. So join me, not next week, we're going to take a little hiatus, as I mentioned before, but join me for another soulful conversation each and every week with a featured guest speaker. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Joy Ruffin Fashioning, Femininity, Style, and Truth. And if you want to go deeper, I invite you to connect with me on my YouTube, not my YouTube, my website, joyruffin.com, because beautiful things are always unfolding there. And remember, this is the month, we're getting ready to go into a new month here, but this is the month you let your light take center stage. That's what it's all about. And I don't think we could have ended with a more profound and deeply conversational way of leaving you with the food for thought that Dr. Norma Hollis did with you today. It's all about being authentic. And that's where we're going. It's about an awakening, and it's in the air, and we're all going about it different. But the end result is know thyself, love thyself, and stand proud and actually be respectful of everything about you, the good, the bad, and the so-so. I don't buy into ugly here. My Eagles, be and stay well. Take good care. We'll be back with you soon. And your assignment, we don't leave without an assignment, is to connect with Dr. Norma Hollis. You won't regret it. Be and stay well. Much love from my heart to yours. Until the next time, all the best. Cheers.